Hey everybody, it's Trags alongside Chris Grenham inside the Auerbach Center at Boston Landing. The Celtics getting ready to go out for the 2018 Vegas Summer League. And the news of the day, of course, Robert Williams. He was on hand again for his second day of Summer League practice after missing his flight from his home state of Louisiana on Sunday. He was certainly remorseful, as he should be, for missing his flight. He said, "It's on me." Your read of the Robert Williams press conference here on Tuesday morning in Boston.
Yeah, he seemed to own up to it. Like you said, he said it's on him. You know, he regrets the mistake that he made, and he, knew it was all on him. And so I think that's big of a 19, 20-year-old kid to come up and immediately take ownership and take responsibility for it. He said that they were, preaching accountability towards him and stuff. So I think that's good. And obviously he has the right people behind him. Player-wise, he has guys like Aaron Baines and Al Horford around him. And coaches, he's got Brad Stevens, Jay Larranaga, and Danny Ainge hanging around. So he definitely has the right influences around him. And you can tell it's starting to wear off.
Right, but let's be very clear here, Chris. He had no choice but to really take accountability. I asked him about discipline, if discipline had been talked about, and he said, yeah, there'll be a few extra sprints. I think there'll probably be more than just the extra sprints.
Yeah, he said they're probably more verbal than we could imagine, so I would love to hear what Danny Ainge really had to say with him when he first showed up in Boston yesterday. But, again, that's something we'll never hear, but he said it's a lot of verbal and a few extra sprints. We'll see if it impacts any of his playing time in Las Vegas. I'm sure a lot of that depends on how he was yesterday in his first practice and today in his second. So, again, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on.
We also heard from Jay Larranaga, and it was fascinating to listen to him talk about the pure athleticism of Robert Williams, saying that he can dunk with his elbows.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the top pros of his game, essentially, his crazy athleticism. He can jump through the roof, and he's a great shot blocker, but Jay saying that he can dunk with his elbows was putting it pretty simply, and it's awesome because he can't play above the rim. I know any team that faced him, ask UNC or Providence, who played against him in the NCAA tournament, they'll tell you he can dunk with his elbows. So it's exciting, and I can't wait to watch him this end of this week in Vegas.
X's and O's. Jay Larranaga talked about instinct and really getting Rob Williams to understand the difference of when you need to help on defense, come over to the weak side and block a shot or do rim protect or what have you, and when you need to stay at home. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was. And again, he's a pretty raw talent at the moment, so they're not expecting him to be, a quality producer right away. And so a lot of the instinct and basketball IQ tweaks are going to go on in the next couple weeks and obviously over the course of the next year. But right away, they're getting their first impressions and seeing his first instincts and stuff. So obviously the athleticism and the talent is there, but there's plenty of other adjustments that he needs to make in his game.
Speaking of first impressions, we got our first look at Robert Williams in Celtics green here on Tuesday at the Auerbach Center on the practice court, and you certainly saw him moving around. We did not see any sets or what have you, anything really specific like that, but just your general impressions of watching Robert Williams move around on the court.
Well, when we were down there, they were doing a lot of perimeter shooting drills, and I was impressed by his mid-range jump shot. They had a lot of the guards and wings shooting threes, but obviously he would step in, take a mid-range jump shot, and that was something that he was rather inconsistent with in his 2 years at Texas A&M. He looked pretty good. Granted, it's a first look at basically a warm-up drill in a summer league practice, but he looked good. So first impression, I would say I'm impressed with his mid-range jump shot.
He was actually working alongside toward the end of the open session media availability. We had to watch Robert Williams with the son of a very famous player, the son of Clyde Drexler. That would be Adam Drexler. He went to Houston, transferred to Loyola Marymount. I got to tell you, it's only, a practice. It's only, very informal drills that they were running, weaves and whatnot. He can knock down a jump shot.
He's a straight-up shooter. I was really impressed. I had never seen Adam Drexler play before. I had heard that he was working out with the team yesterday. We got a peek at him today, and he was one of the best shooters out there. Honestly, him and Kadeem Allen were kind of headlining the show in terms of long-range shooting, but I was very impressed. He definitely got some of his father's genes, that's for sure.
What are you looking for now as the Celtics head out west? They play the Philadelphia 76ers on Friday. What are your expectations, and what can Jay Larranaga really prove to Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge.
Well, I'm excited to see Jay Larranaga run this team. I mean, he's a great coach. He's proven to be a great assistant for Brad Stevens over the last couple years. But I'm looking forward to the giant lineups that they can put out there with Gershon Yabusele, Shemi Ojale, now Robert Williams added in. I mean, they can have some really large lineups out there. Kadeem Allen is probably the smallest guy on the team, and he's rather big for a point guard when he runs the point. So I'm excited to see the size, and I think a lot of experience with guys like Yabusele and Shemi Ojale kind of running the show. So it'll be a nice combo of guys who have NBA experience and other young guys who have never played in the league before.
We should also emphasize, and Jeff Twiss, the Celtics PR director, made this a point that Adam Drexler was just working out with the Celtics, hasn't signed a contract. He was just given the courtesy of working out with the Celtics.
Yep, just looking for a sweat. And again, proved at least to us that he was a great shooter. So we'll see. You never know.
Never do know. One thing we do know is you can follow the Celtics off-season news all summer long on CLNSmedia.com. Follow us on Twitter at CelticsCLNS. He is Chris Grenham of Celtics Blog and CLNS Media. I'm Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.